This for me is the first time I present in such a noisy environment, but I see you have headsets, so if things are right, you can hear me. All right, my name is Abel Smit. I run IoT sales in Europe, or trying to. I live in Barcelona, I'm Dutch, so if you want to speak to me afterwards in Dutch or Spanish, that's all fine with me. I'm going to talk a little bit about IoT, and this is not a regular presentation where I am going to talk about how many connected devices there will be, how big the opportunity is. This is more motivational as to why should you be interested in IoT. The first thing you need to understand is that the world is changing. The world is becoming more connected, and we'll get to be confronted with IoT whether we like it or not. Everybody will, every day, from your home, in your car, in your work, and everything. Now, the first thing you have to ask yourself if you are in business is, what does that mean for me, and am I ready to transform? Am I a company of the 21st century? The first thing to do is you have to then stop thinking linear. Don't think about incremental improvement of the product you offer today. Take out cost, do other things, because in the end, the improvements you can make are getting smaller and smaller and become less interesting for your customers. What you need to do, what you need to think about is, what do we need to do different? How can I make a quantum leap? How can I make a big change? So don't think linear, don't think from the past. Think about what you can do in the future. You think about Tech Data as a corporation is not immune to this as well. You know, Tech Data as a corporation, we have, I believe, 12,000 employees, $32 billion in revenue. That's all great. We have a little problem in that our margin, in the end, our gross profit for the corporation is small and getting smaller. So if we as a corporation don't innovate, don't change, then maybe in 10 years' time we double the revenue. We have $64 billion. We have 20,000 people working for us, but then we need the 20,000 people to move a pile of cash from A to B, and nobody is excited about that. So about 5 years ago, a small strategy team was formed in the corporation, and they looked at where the margin pool in the IT value chain was going to go to. Is it going to, so all the value chain from vendor to distributor to system integrator, reseller, and customer. Who is going to make money where? And that team came up with 4 areas where they thought money could be made and where Tech Data had a place to play because of historical reasons, because of our connections in the industry with other vendors. And these 4 areas are cloud, security, IoT analytics, and services. So 4 years ago, a new team was set up, and the team was called Next Generation. And in that Next Generation team, there's now 4 business units. We're focusing on those 4 streams. And really the idea is that it's an innovative business, it's a new business, and we need to give these teams a little bit more freedom to experiment, to do things differently than have been done in the past. One thing they did is they hired me, for example, as a non-Tech Data person. I don't come from distribution, I come from the software sales world, to help Tech Data to devise programs to enable solution selling. Now, if you think about what this is, this image, you probably have been looking at a motorcycle. I don't know whether there's motorcycle enthusiasts here in the audience, but this is a part that is designed with technology which is called generative design. And generative design is a process where you set certain constraints on a design problem and you have variations of variables in a particular range. And you try to optimize the design for maybe wind or speed or strength, or in this case, strength and weight. Now, a typical designer can do this. They can make maybe 2 designs or 3 designs. But when you take that process and you do that on a computer and you do that in the cloud, then you cannot make 3 designs, not 30 designs, but you can do 3,000 or you can 30,000. So you can really use the power of the cloud and technology to optimize your design. So if you think about this technology comes from one of the vendors we are working with at Tech Data, Autodesk. But if you think traditionally way of improving your designs, you're not going to get to these sorts of designs. So that is the point of this picture. Yeah, generative design, very fascinating technology, and you see that you end up with something very organic like this part on this motorcycle. Okay, let me see what this is. So the IoT is one of the hottest areas in the market. Now, the problem with IoT is there's many. There's a lot of technology domains involved. There's a lot of, there's sensors, there's connectivity, there's cloud, there's analytics, there's backend integration, there's services, there's deployment, there's maintenance. It is a very difficult thing to get your head around. And when you talk to customers about IoT, end customers will, if they know what it is, they'll be scared of it. So the idea, if you want to sell IoT, is to not talk about IoT. What you need to do is you need to start to understand what are the business issues my customers are dealing with. What keeps them awake at night? What are their problems? And how can I place technology in the context of the problem I'm trying to resolve? So take, for example, a retail store that is suffering from shrinkage or theft in store. If that is the problem, so what can we do to take that problem away? Well, maybe we can work with loss prevention systems that are RFID based. When something is stolen, we know what is stolen, which particular part was stolen, what color, what size, so we can replenish it on the store so that piece of garment can be sold again. So those are type of conversations you need to have. You need to talk in the industry the language of the end customer. And it's typically not the IT department we're selling to. We don't sell into procurement, and that is bad for us because we've been selling into procurement and IT for a long time. So here we're selling to what we call the line of business. So you're selling to the operations manager, you're selling to the marketing manager, you're selling to the sales manager. And if you do not understand his business, and if you do not understand his business challenges, you're not going to have a sale. So for that reason, you need to invest in specialization, in industry people. In my team, I hired 4 industry specialists, one for retail, one for manufacturing, one for logistics and transport, and one for an area we call smart spaces, around connecting building management systems to the internet. So this talks to the same. If you, in a conversation with your end customer, can find out what keeps them awake at night, what makes it that they do not meet their KPIs, what makes it that they cannot go on a vacation, if you can connect that with an emotional thing that particular end customer has, then you have a problem. Then you have something. You have a problem you can do something about. In sales, we love problems because problems, if you know how to deal with it, you can sell. Okay. Now, this is another interesting. We started this exercise at Tech Data 3 years ago. And we started to get very engaged in many projects, and most of the projects we were doing were a failure. They did not materialize in big sales. When we were lucky, we came to a proof of concept. And a proof of concept is money, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, 80,000 euros. But that's not why we were doing it. We wanted to get then a big rollout after that. That is typically 1 in 10 or 2 in 10 of these POCs, or POCs, what they're called in some countries, lead to actual success. That is very small, but you have to be willing to make that investment and make those failures in order to learn the business. So, as I said before, we stopped selling technology. When we talk to end customers and you say, Tech Data talking to end customers, say, yes, that's what we do. We have it's a little bit of, I'm diverting a little bit, but there's really 4 ways how we at Tech Data sell IoT stuff. There is one area where we have customers that come to us, say a large utilities company in the Netherlands, Toon. I don't know if there's Dutch people in the crowd here. They had a program to roll out smart thermostats. They came to Tech Data and said, can you do the logistics for us? I said, yes, we can. That's what we've been doing for 30 years. We're very good at it. It is IoT, very large contract, high revenue, very small margin. So we do that business because we need to eat as well, okay? Now, the second way we sell IoT stuff is where we have IoT specific components from Cisco, from Hewlett Packard, from sensor manufacturers, what have you. And people who do IoT projects, they come to us and say, I need a gateway, this is the specification, you need to have it in 2 weeks, give me a good alternative. And when you do a nice job, you get a nice bottle of wine at Christmas. We do that too. Because we have these components, but more interesting for us is to go to end customers that have a particular issue, try to put a solution together to take that issue off the table, and on the back end, harvest a repeatable solution, something we can sell multiple times. So we qualify opportunities in when we think that we cannot sell it only one time, but we can sell it 10 times, 20 times, 50 times. But we bring partners in who can then learn with us and who do the transaction with the end customer. So we do not sell directly to end customer data, we are a distributor, but we bring partners in who can learn with us. And over time we hope that these partners need less of our help, and then they can be more scale and grow. Okay? Now customers. What customers are we looking for? When I started 2.5 years ago at Tech Data, I thought life is going to be wonderful. Tech Data has, 60,000 customers in Europe. I put a couple of solutions together. I got 60,000 people selling this stuff. It didn't work that way, because most of our customers are not used to selling outside of IT and procurement. They don't have a solution selling type business. They don't really have a deep understanding of the business issues of the end customers. So that was a little bit of a problem. So then what I thought to do is that maybe I need to educate people, but they know what IoT is, and then they can start selling. That works, but it takes a long time. So what we're doing right now is we identify companies who have a IoT practice, who are doing IoT stuff, and we offer our value proposition to them. Or we help them to professionalize, industrialize the offerings they have or want to put into the market. Here's an example, and some people ask me, so where are you with IoT? And I call this that we are coming at the end of the beginning. Now everybody sees this wonderful opportunity, but it takes time for the market to wake up, particularly the SMB market. It takes time for them to adopt new technologies, to get comfortable with it. And for us and for our customers, the Tech Data customers, to be able to offer this solution. This is a particular use case of something that's called MEWP, Movable Elevated Working Platform, where the customer came to us, our customer, Hitachi Consulting in the UK, and said, we have a problem. We have been trying to get an IoT solution working for this rental company. They want to know where the stuff is. Alarms need to go off when it comes too close to an obstacle. The person who is managing, who is driving it, needs to be authorized. There are a number of things they wanted to track. What is the battery level, if it's battery operated? What is the gas situation, when it's gas operated? They could not really come to a solution. The problem we had here was we had a very short period of time to build a proof of concept. We built a proof of concept, we built 10 units to demonstrate to the customer that we could do this. And then the trouble really started, because the customer wanted to order this thing. Excuse me. And then you need to go in manufacturing, and if you want to go into manufacturing, you need to have all sorts of a revision and all sorts of qualifications and certifications. So that took another 9 months before we actually had production ramped up to be able to meet the demand of this particular customer. But now we have this thing, and now we can go to other rental companies or to customers of Tech Data who are servicing rental companies, who can then offer it to their customers. So my time is up. If you're interested to talk to me, because we cannot talk here, it's so loud, please come and talk to me. We have local teams in different countries who are working on IT. There's 2 people here in Belgium working on this. We've got a small team in the Netherlands, or you can contact me directly. All right? Questions I can't take because I can't hear them. Thank you for your attention. I hope it was a little interesting for you. And if you want to talk to me, please grab me. I'll be here all evening. All right? Thank you, guys.